So hello everyone, welcome back to the fifth lecture of quadratic equations and expression. I hope you all are comfortable with the first four lectures that we have covered. I mean all the concepts that has been covered, right? In case any doubts are there, in case some points are there which you are not very comfortable. So do let me know in the comment box whenever I am making the next lecture. I will try my best that I can cover those aspects. Okay. So this was a question which was given as homework. So far, I have not received any comments. So I'm not sure whether you have got the answer or whether you have got the answer, but you are shy enough to let me know that you have got the answer. So there is nothing to be shy. You please do comment and let me know that whether you got the answer or not. Okay. So coming back to this question, right before this, if I can give a recap that what exactly we have discussed. So we discussed about identity. What is identity? We saw that if a expression or equation is given like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and they have given a further information or additional information that it is getting satisfied by more than two values, so we can directly jump to the conclusion that it is going to be an identity, and it is going to be basically true for all the values of x, right? So one thought when I ask in the class, normally the children say that we can take LCM and then we can try to simplify and then we will get something like x equals x. So yes, I do agree that that is one of the method. But point here is who will do the calculation? Because when you take the LCM in the first bracket c minus a, c minus b is there. Accordingly, one more bracket will come into the multiplication. So in short, you have three multiplications, then three multiplications, then three multiplications, then the evaluation. So a lot of calculations are there, isn't it? So in short, this method is going to be quite lengthy in case somebody is courageous enough and have a lot of time, and definitely can give a try to that method. So what is the alternate way and easier way to do this question is, see this, we have to prove that it is an identity, isn't it? And if I ask you what is a degree, you can see that when you do the complete simplification, you will see like x square term would be there, then some x terms would be there, and some constants would be there, isn't it? Okay. So if I ask you that if I can prove that this equation is true for three values, because first thing I've shown you that there is going to be x square term, there is no cubic term, isn't it? X square term, then x term, and some constants. If by any chance I can prove that it is this equation is going to hold true for three values of x, so with the above discussion that we have done in the last class or the glimpse that I've given you now, I will be in a position to prove that it is going to be true for all the values of x, isn't it? So let's start our solution. If you substitute x equals a, right, what will happen? You can see like a minus a will become 0. So first bracket is 0. And you can see that the third bracket also is 0, isn't it? Right? So what you'll be getting? You will get from the second bracket a minus b multiplied by a minus c divided by a minus b, a minus c. So they will get cancelled out. And ultimately what you got? You got a equals a. Similarly, if you substitute x equals b, isn't it? Then you can see like second bracket will be 0 and first bracket, I mean the first term will be 0 and second term also will be 0, isn't it? That b minus a into b minus b. So b minus b is 0, entire term is 0. Similarly, in the second term, b minus b is 0, so all terms will get 0. Entire thing becomes 0. And then the last part is b minus a into b minus c, which is same written in the denominator. They will get cancelled out and you will get b equals b. And you can repeat the process with c. Basically, you can see this equation is getting satisfied by three values. How many values? Three values. Okay. So in short, with all the discussion that we have done, what we can conclude, it is going to be true for all the values of x. Okay. So we can write since above equation is satisfied by more than two values of x, that is a comma b comma c. Therefore, it is true for all x belongs to R. So it is true for all belongs to R. I hope you are comfortable on this. So in case you are not comfortable, in case any doubts are there, I would be happy if you can let me know so that in next lecture when I'm recording, I will ensure that I come back to this question and I give you more insight about this. Okay. So now next what we are going to do is we are going to solve some questions from previous year JEE Mains, JEE Advanced, and as well as ISI. So all those problems will be solved. So let's take some questions. So what you can do, simple thing is pause the video, solve the questions, come back and check whether you're getting the right answer or not. So let us say the first question is the value of A, the value of A for which one root for which one root of the quadratic equation, one root of the quadratic equation, one root of the quadratic equation a square minus 5a plus 3 times x square plus 3a minus 1 times x and plus 2 equals 0 is is twice as large as others. Your options are 2 by 3. Second options are minus 2 by 3. Third option is 1 by 3. And fourth option is minus 1 by 3. So question is taken from the JEE Mains collection. The value of A for which one of the root quadratic equation is twice as large as other. So this is one kind of problems where when you are writing some test and all, you will definitely come across. So basically the template of these questions would be what? The template would be that they will give equation and then they will say that one root is square of other, one root is cube of other, one root is nth times of other, one root is 5 times of other, and then they will ask some relations between ABC, or in this situation they are asking the value of A. So for all these questions, the template, the solution template remains the same. What is the solution template? See like this, you assume that the first root is alpha. So what is the other root? The other root you can get from the condition. In this situation, they are telling it is twice. So second root will be what? 2 alpha. So your roots are alpha and 2 alpha. Now who has created this alpha? At least in this question, you are the one who has created, isn't it? Now try to relate them. So from a quadratic, what you know? You know one thing, sum of the roots and product of the roots. And now you know difference also. But in this context, you can find sum of the roots, you can find product of the roots. So when you find sum of the roots, what will you get? You get alpha plus 2 alpha, which will be 3 alpha equals something. Then you can try to find product. Product will be what? Alpha into 2 alpha, which will be 2 alpha square. And now our target would be what? That this alpha should not come, isn't it? Because in the whole question, when you try to see, there is no alpha. Alpha which you have created. So our later on target would be that we should eliminate it as well. Right? Okay. I hope you are good to go. So let's take it further and let's write the solution. Let the roots let the roots of the given quadratic equation be alpha and 2 alpha. Alpha and 2 alpha. Okay. So then what is sum of the roots? So alpha plus 2 alpha, which is 3 alpha, equals negative of 3a minus 1 divided by a square minus 5a plus 3. And what is the product? Alpha into 2 alpha equals c by a, which is 2 by a square minus 5a plus 3. Okay. Now ultimately what we got? So we have got alpha equals minus of 3a minus 1 divided by 3 times a square minus 5a plus 3. And from here we have got alpha square equals 1 by a square minus 5a plus 3. Now imagine, think this way, alpha is there, alpha square is there. Our target is eliminate alpha, so that or you think this way, that how can we relate these coefficients? When you want to find the value of a, we should have some equation, isn't it? And that equation we can solve, and then we can try to get the result. So what we can see here, we can see like if we try to calculate alpha square, what we will get? We will get like 3a minus 1 whole square divided by 9 times a square minus 5a plus 3 whole square. And this can be equal to this quantity, which is 1 by a square minus 5a plus 3. Now when I ask in the class to the students, can I cancel this and this? They say yes, you can cancel. But now as you have moved to grade 11, we should avoid cancellation. Okay. Because when you cancel, chances are there that you may lose the roots. For example, suppose it is written x equals x square. Now can I cancel this and this? The students say yes. So what solution you got? You got x equals 1. Now my question is x equals 1 is the only solution? So by observation also you can see that if you substitute x equals 0, 0 is equal to 0, isn't it? So why we are not getting 0? Because you have cancelled. Ideally how you should have solved, bring the equations on one side. So x square minus x equals 0. Then take common. And from here you'll get x equals 0 or x equals 1. So you can see that both the solutions you are getting. Right? And moreover, in cancellation there is another problem. If x is equal to 0, can you cancel 0 and 0 both the sides? No, right? So the correct way is that we should avoid cancellation, because cancellation will lead to loss of roots. Similarly, when you square, when you cube, chances are there that there can be some addition of roots. Okay. So that we'll see time to time. Let us go here. So we will avoid cancellation. Okay. Now the question comes, when we can cancel? When we can cancel? So in case if you are very much sure that this quantity can never be 0, right? Like suppose when you're cancelling, and what if this quantity becomes 0? If it becomes 0, then there will be a problem, isn't it? Right? Because 0 by 0 we cannot cancel. So how shall we proceed? How shall we proceed? So can we write from here 3a minus whole square can we write like this? Then when we bring everything on the left hand side, so you can clearly see like a square minus 5a plus 3, we can take common. And here what we'll be getting is 3a minus 1 whole square minus 9 times a square minus 5a plus 3 whole square. See, one more thing is, we know in this particular question that this quantity or this quantity written over here can never be 0. Why it can never be 0? Because you can see it is the same quantity which is written over here, isn't it? And they have also mentioned that it is a quadratic equation. So if it is a quadratic equation, can the coefficient of x square be 0? Because if it becomes 0, it will not be a quadratic, isn't it? So here indirectly information is given that a square minus 5a plus 3 can never be 0, right? So in that situation you can cancel. But right now I'm talking about the process. So correct way to solve this question is that you try to create something like this, equal to 0. Now you mention, since a square minus plus 5a plus 3 can't be equal to 0, so the only option is 3a minus 1 whole square minus 9 times a square minus 5a plus 3. Why it is this whole square equals 0. So when you open this, you'll get 9a square plus 1 minus 6a minus 9a square plus 45a and minus 27 equals 0. 9 square will get cancelled. Minus 6 and 45 will give you 39a and minus 26 equals 0. So we got a equals 26 by 39, which is 2 by 3. So the correct answer for this question is going to be 2 by 3. Okay. So in case anybody have solved already and got the answer, I would be happy that you please mention that you have got the correct answer. I will make sure that you get appreciated in the next video. Okay. So you should not do it for the appreciation. I mean, if you've got the answer, do let me know that you have got the correct answer. Okay. So I hope you're clear on this. Okay, so let us do the next question. The next question is, the next question that we have is, let's do on a similar pattern. Let's say the question is, the number of integers, x, the number of integers x such that 2 power 2x minus 3 times 2 power x plus 2 plus 2 power 5 equals 0. The number of integers x such that 2 power 2x minus 3 into 2 power x plus 2 plus 2 power 5 equals 0. Your options are 0, option B is 1, option C is 2, and option D is none of the above. The option D is none of the above. So again, simple thing, pause the video, solve the question, and do let me know what answers you are getting. So this is also a single correct type, only one of the option is correct in the given question. So I'm solving again how to proceed with this. So first thought would be is that, is it a quadratic? So straightforward, it is not a quadratic because it doesn't fits into the form ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. So now the question comes, can we convert it into a quadratic? So looks like I can see like 2 power x is there, then 2 power 2x is there, which I can write as 2 power x whole square, isn't it? So what we can do, we can go like, let 2 power x equals z, and where z is greater than 0. I mean, normally in the class students don't mention this condition, but in case if you are done with relations and function and know basics of exponential function, we know that 2 power x will never be 0, isn't it? Or if you are aware about 2 power x graph or a power x graph, it looks like this, isn't it? So it doesn't cut to the x-axis or it doesn't go below the x-axis. Now why we are writing this? Because in case if you don't write, and imagine when you solved, you got something like 2 power x equals minus 16. So then one way you can think like, okay, 2 power x can never be equal to 16. So there also you can rule out this value. You can rule out that, okay, 2 power x can never be 16. So from there you will get no solution. Or in case if you have written the condition, so you will look out only for the values of z which are positive, right? So if 2 power x equals z, so this 2 power 2x will become what? 2 power x whole square, and which we can write as z square. Similarly, this 2 power x plus 2 can be written as 2 power x into 2 square. We know that a to the power m into a power n can be written as a to the power m plus n. So which we can write as how much? 4 into 2 power x. And 2 power 5 we can write as 32. So the quadratic becomes z square minus 3 times 4 into z and plus 32 equals 0. When you simplify this, you got z square minus 12z plus 32 equals 0. Now think of two numbers whose sum is 12 and product is 32. Very obvious, 8 and 4. So this can be factorized as z minus 8 into z minus 4 equals 0. So we got z equals 8 or we got z equals 4. Okay. So now again, z equals 8. So from this what we can write? 2 power x equals 8, which we can write as 2 power 3. From this we can write as x equals 3. And then z equals 4. From this what we can write? 2 power x equals 4, which we can write as 2 square. So what we got? We got x equals. So we have got what all answers? We have got x equals 2 and x equals 3. So what is the correct answer for this? How many integers are there? There are basically two integers which will satisfy this given quadratic equation, right? So again, my expectation is same. In case you have got the right answer, do let me know. Okay. So let us move to the third question. Right. So we are done with the second question. Let us go to the third question. The third question is for the equation for the equation px square, sorry, 3x square plus px plus 3 equals to 0, where p is greater than 0. If one root is square, if one root is square of the other, then e equals your first option is 1 by 3, second option is 1, third option is 3, and fourth option is 2 by 3. I hope you can relate this with the very first template that we have discussed. Same thing they have mentioned. What? That is the equation given. Then they are telling that one root is square of other. That time they said that it is twice the other, 5 times other. Here this time they are telling that it is square of other. And then they are asking what is the value of p. Logic will remain the same. I hope you have understood. Write some of the roots, write product of the roots, and then try to eliminate, isn't it? So let us say use solution. Let the roots be alpha and alpha square. Let the roots be alpha and alpha square. So now what will you write? Alpha plus alpha square equals minus p by 3. Alpha plus alpha square equals minus p by 3. And then product alpha into alpha square, which is alpha cube equals 1. Alpha into alpha square, which is alpha cube, which is equals 1. Right? Okay. So what is the next that we can do here? How are we going to proceed with finding the p value? So one option is that we try to see what is the value of alpha. What is the value of alpha? So normally when I ask in the class, student says that sir, from this we can write as alpha equals 1. I appreciate them. I said, okay, yes, we can write alpha equals 1. Then they say, okay, no problem, sir. Now we know one of the root. So let us substitute that 1 in the given equation. I say, okay, let us do this. So then they substitute alpha equals 1. Or they substitute here also, isn't it? In that situation, they get 1 plus 1 equals minus p by 3. And then they get p equals minus 6. Then I ask, okay, any option is there? So you can clearly see minus, no options are there. Is none of the above available? No. And you can see that very smartly they have mentioned that P is greater than 0. Okay. So again, when I put up this question, do you think this question is wrong? Some of them would be there, would be sleeping and all. You said this question is wrong. So see, mathematics question is not wrong. Right. So basically, what is wrong is something we are missing out. What we are missing out, that when alpha cube equals 1, you can't say that the roots are only, there is only one root. Why? Because see, when you have a quadratic equation, isn't it? How many roots are there? Two roots are there. If a cubic equations are there, cubic equation is there, how many roots are there? Three roots are there. Whether roots are real, non-real, that is a secondary discussion. But how many roots are there? Three roots are there. Okay. So here we are missing out something. Here we are missing out something. So what are we missing out? This we can write as alpha cube minus 1 cube equals 0 because 1 cube is 1. And this you can factorize alpha minus 1 into a cube minus b cube. What is the factorization? Do let me know. A square plus b square and a minus b into a square plus b square plus ab. Simple to remember. See, negative is there, isn't it? Negative is there. So what you'll be doing? A minus b, then a square plus b square, and opposite sign. So plus ab will come. Similarly, what is a cube plus b cube? When you look into a cube plus b cube, it will be plus is there, so a plus b, a square plus b square minus a. So you got your alpha square plus alpha plus 1 equals 0. Alpha minus 1 into alpha square plus alpha plus 1 equals 0. I hope you are okay on this. Right. So we have already said that, we have already seen that alpha equals 1 is not helping us out, isn't it? So what other possibility we have? We have the other possibility that alpha square plus 1 should be equal to 0. So what is alpha square plus alpha? It is minus 1. This minus 1 value you can feed here. So you got minus 1 equals minus p by 3. So what is p value? We got p equals 3. Are we clear on this? Let me repeat again what I have done. The first thing that I have done is that I assume the roots are alpha and alpha square. Then I wrote sum of the roots, I wrote product of the roots, and from the product of the roots, I got an equation which was, I was tempted to solve it, that alpha cube equals 1. So one thought can maybe alpha equals 1. So when alpha we took 1, we saw that we are getting p equals some negative value and the options are not there. So what does it mean? It means that I'm missing out something. So then I went and investigated again this alpha cube equals 1. I saw that there can be some more values of alpha which can satisfy the given equation. So later on in the same chapter, when we will enter into cube root of unity, right, there again this discussion we can bring it up. And even the next topic also, when we are discussing the conditions for one root common, two roots common, there we will see this question again. And then directly we can solve it. Even this much also is not needed. Okay, so let's keep that aside. As of now, so what we saw that alpha equals 1 is not acceptable. So what else is acceptable? So the other bracket should be 0 in case if that equation holds true. So from there we got like alpha square plus alpha is negative of 1. That value is substituted and we can see that luckily, well, not luckily, with all the hard work, we are getting p equals 3. So I hope you are comfortable on this. So let us solve some more couple of questions and then we'll proceed to the next topic. Right. So the fourth question is, so if I can tell you, this question was from JEE Main's 2019 paper. Now let us go to the next question. So I can, no, sorry, not 19. This question is from 2000, sorry. The next question that we have is from 2016. The question is, the question is, the sum of, the sum of all real values of x, the sum of all real values of x satisfying 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 it's going little left, right, the sum of all real values of x satisfying the equation satisfying the equation x square minus 5x plus 5 whole to the power x square plus 4x minus 60 equals 1 is. Your options are, the first option is 3, second option is minus 4, third option is 6, and fourth option is 5. Right. So the question is what? That sum of all real values of x satisfying the equation. You can see like there is a quadratic, and on top of it as a power there is another quadratic, and then they are asking that this is equal to 1. Then find the value of, basically find all the values of x, and at the end you add all those values and then tell what is their sum. Okay. In short, the question is that we have to find the values of x. So think again that how can we proceed with this question. Okay, so with my recent experience, when I was doing in the class the same question, some students gave an answer like, okay, sir, if base becomes 1, if base becomes 1, and whatever be the power, 1 to the power, 1 to the power, whatever the value will come, it will be 1. So I say yes, it is correct. We can solve that way. What is other option? So then after some time thinking and all, they say that okay, sir, no problem. We will ensure this time that the power is 0. If power becomes 0, then the value will become equal to 1. But then I correct them, and I will correct you also in case if you are having a thought. See, if the power becomes 0, you have to ensure that the base is not 0 at that value, isn't it? Like let's say your power becomes 0, and that time base also becomes 0. Will you say that 0 to the power 0 equals 1? So what is your understanding about this? Again, do let me know that. You just have to say that whether 0 power 0 can we write it as 1 or no. I mean, yes or no, like that you can reply, okay? Now, so these are the two cases mostly students solve. I will also solve these two first, and then I will reveal in case if you are not have been able to figure out on your own that what is the third part that we should solve. Okay. So we are solving solution. First part. So let's call it as case 1. What is case 1? X square minus 5x plus 5 equals 1. The base is equal to 1. So when you bring here itself, I'm solving. So this will become what? X square minus 5x plus 4 equals 0, which is quite factorizable. X minus 1 into x minus 4 equals 0. So we got x equals 1, and we got x equals 4. Right? Now, when x equals 1 or x equals 4, do we have to check the power? That both the integers value, when you will substitute, you'll get some integral value, isn't it? So ultimately, x equals 1 and x equals 4 both are acceptable answers. Now case 2. What is case 2? Case 2 is when x square plus 4x is at 16. Okay, so x square plus 4x minus 60 becomes equals to 0. Ah, yes, that's correct only. So now again, think of two numbers whose sum is 4 and product is minus 60. I hope you can see like plus 10 and minus 6. So this also is factorizable. This we can write as how much? X plus 10 into x minus 6 equals 0. Okay. So from there, what you got? You got x equals minus 10 and you got x equals 6. As I have cautioned you, that if the base becomes a 0 for these values, then there will be a problem, isn't it? We can just orally check if you take x equals minus 10, is there any trouble? So basically, there is no trouble at minus 10 because everything will be positive. Minus 10 square will give you 100, minus of 5x will give you plus 50, and plus 5. So basically, some number is coming which is definitely different from 0. So x equals minus 10 is acceptable. What about 6? So again 36 plus 5 will be 41 and this is 30. No problem at all. So both are acceptable. And in the exam hall, most of the students have done this part. So what is the sum? 6 plus 4 plus 1 is 11 and minus 10 is 1. And now to your surprise, you can see that 1 is not there in the option. So ideally, if I have to make a change in this question, or if I want to ask this question in the exam paper, I will make sure that option A, I make it as 1. So that you get 11 minus 10. If you're not careful, you'll mark this answer and then you will proceed. Okay. But given that that option is not available, now you may think for the third case. So what is the third case? Case 3. Case 3. The third case is, what if base becomes negative 1 and power is even? Getting my point? If base becomes minus 1 and power is even, so minus 1 to the power even will give you 1, isn't it? I hope you're getting it. So basically what am I going to solve is x square minus 5x plus 5 equals minus 1. So this will give you what? X square minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. And it is factorizable. X minus 3 into x minus 2 equals 0. So you got x equals 3 and x equals 2. Now again the question is same. Is both acceptable? Is x equals 3 acceptable? Is x equals 2 acceptable? Substitute 3. When you substitute 3 here, you can see like 3 square is 9. 9 is odd number. And remaining part is a even number. Odd number 20. There you can calculate the value. But I'm saying that there is no need to calculate the value. You just have to feel it whether it is odd or even. Feel I mean by substituting the value, not just by guessing. It's looking odd, so odd. Substitute 3, 3 is 9. And 4x minus 60 is going to be an even number. So odd plus even or minus even will give you odd only. So what we can say that x equals 3 is rejected. X equals 3 is rejected. What about 2? So 2 is acceptable. Why it is acceptable? Because 2 square will be even and those numbers are anyway even. So even plus even will give you even, isn't it? So x equals 2 is acceptable. So what are the solutions you got? You got x equals 1, you got 4, you got minus 10, you got 6 and you got 2. Okay. So 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 6 is 13, minus 10 will give you 3 as the answer. So the correct answer for this question is 3. The correct answer for this question is 3. I hope you are clear on this. Okay. So let us do another question. Okay. Okay. So now we are solving questions from JEE Mains 2019. So this is question number 4. This is from JEE Mains 2019. JN. JEE Mains 2019. Okay. So what is the question? Question is, if one root of if one root of if one root of the quadratic equation 81x square plus kx plus 256 equals 0. Let's bring it little left. It's too congested. Yeah. If one root of the quadratic equation 81x square plus kx plus 256 equals 0 is cube of the other is cube of the other root, then k equals, first option is 100, second option is 144, third option is minus 81, and fourth option is minus 300. Okay, so you can see like this is the third question of that same template. Okay, that first one we did is that the root is twice. Second question we did that the root is square. And now this time the question is that the root is cube of the other root. Okay, fine. So again, pause the video just to test whether you have understood or not. Solve this question, then come back and verify whether you have got the same answer. Okay. So, like normally my plan is to make the videos of 40 minutes. So it has already crossed 40. So let us do one thing. Let's take a couple of questions as homework. And you saw these questions. Do let me know in the comment. In case if you're when we are making the next video, we will check whether you have given the correct answer or not. Okay. So let's take another question. Question number 5. Question number 5 is also from 2019. Question is, if lambda be the ratio of the roots of the quadratic equation in x 3m square x square 3m square x square plus m times m minus 4x and plus 2 equals 0, then the least value of m for which lambda plus 1 by lambda equals 1 is. Your options are minus 2 plus root 2. Option B is 4 minus 2 root 3. Option C is 4 minus 3 root 2. And option D is 2 minus root 2. Okay. So these are the two questions which I'm giving as a homework. Please make sure solve and do let me know so that when we are meeting by the next lecture, you can verify whether you have got the correct answer or not. Fine then, till then, take care. Thank you. Bye bye.